Hello everybody and welcome to our September update of the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. Hello Brian.
Hey Chris. Hey Disney music fans. How's everybody doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And
right.
It's time to kind of give an update on one of everybody's favorite parts of Disneyland and one of the areas that's unique to Disneyland. It's the only Magic Kingdom that has this land, New Orleans Square. And
yeah, my favorite.
I was gonna do a mid-month update, but I ended up pretty much getting the whole chapter done by the middle of the month, so there was no point to doing a mid-month update because even if we waited, it would be the same update. So we might as well just do it.
We'd have no update.
We'd have no update
today.
for September, right? In fact, we're even recording this a little bit early, a couple weeks in advance, because pretty much ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll?
I am working on another chapter, but I won't be posting anything for that chapter until October, so we might as well get this done. And
yeah,
so,
well, I should say we're not ready to rock and roll, ready to jazz it up. Sorry.
Yeah, we're ready to skitch and scatch like Satchmo. So anyways, it's September, believe it or not, and that means in just 1 month is a very special anniversary. And that will be the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World. And I am going to be doing some special things for the anniversary in my own way, on my site and through social media throughout this month. Because October will be Halloween, and I'm going to be doing more Halloween-related things for October. So I decided to make September sort of my tribute month to Walt Disney World for its 50th anniversary.
And yeah, that makes good sense.
Can you believe it's already here, Brian? In just a few weeks, it's going to be autumn already. And I'm recording this, we're recording this on giving away sort of the magician's secrets. It's actually August 22nd, and there's a hurricane headed my way. It doesn't feel very autumn to me right now.
Wow. Well, if you think that's crazy, I already bought a box of Halloween Crunch, Captain Crunch cereal, and ate it for breakfast this morning.
Part of a nutritious breakfast.
That's how I roll. And in Walmart, they already have the Halloween stuff out.
Yeah, every year it seems it's earlier and earlier and earlier. They bring out the next holiday, like the
Just
day
leave it
after
out all year.
The day after Christmas, they start putting out the Valentine's Day stuff. Literally, that's not an exaggeration.
No, you're right.
So before
Just leave it out all year.
Before we go through the recent additions to New Orleans Square, and there are many, we're going to talk about some of the things we'd like you to know about on social media and the internet and whatnot. First of all, what's this Patreon? What is this, Brian?
This is the way you can financially support the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour and the Jiminy Crickets Podcast Network. I'm calling it a network because you have like 3 podcasts now, so I think that's a valid term.
And a website.
And the website. Yeah, lots of stuff. So it all costs money for Chris to keep the website up and to upgrade his equipment that he uses to clean and edit audio tracks and record our podcasts and clean and edit that. So if you have the means, please visit our Patreon page, which is I'm getting a little emotional here. I'm a Patreon myself. It's www.patreon.com/DisneyChris. And you can choose which level you'd like to contribute. We have a $1, a $5, a $10, and a $25 level, and Chris has special rewards at each of those levels. And it's just a great way to show your support for Chris. I highly encourage you to do that.
There's another way you can help support us. We have an online store, and we have 2 designs, and these designs can be printed on various products for your purchase. And you can see the 2 examples here. There's a Magical Audio Tour / DisneyChris.com design, and then there's a podcast Dateline Jiminy Crickets design. And you can get those put on a notebook, of course, t-shirts, mugs, computers, guitars. No, those are stickers. And we just recently added a new product to our product line, beach towels.
All right.
So you can get a huge logo on a beach towel, and before summer's up, you can show off your support for our show, and at the same time, part of the proceeds to the
Get
products
a nice tan.
come back.
The proceeds.
They come back to us to help support what we do. So it's a win-win. And to get to our store, you go to jcpodcast.threadless.com. And Threadless is the name of the company that we do this through, and they make them to order, so there's no overhead for us. So they just make them to order using a design that we submit, and then they send us a percentage of the proceeds and keep the rest for their overhead. So Brian, what's this Einstein Gray? What is this?
Well, you need to get with the social media here. You can follow us on Instagram, DisneyChris_JC_podcast, and there I will share with you guys a lot of colorful Disney images and keep you up to date on the website and the podcast. So it's a great place to gather and chat about our love for Disneyland and music. Oh, and I'm on Instagram. I'm at Keeping Walt in Disney, so you can follow me there. And I have started a twice monthly live action film chat with my friend Jared at every Disney flick. And so last week we talked about his favorite film, The No-Mobile. So I have lots happening on my Instagram account. So go ahead and check it out and give me a follow.
And look, I corrected the spelling of your name, Brian.
Hey. Oh, all right. I'm no longer smart. I'm just a regular Brian.
I had his A and I reversed on the last time I showed this, because spell check doesn't help you when you spell a word, because brain is a word, so it doesn't tell you misspelled something. So
it'll happen again. So.
What's this Facey Bo? What is this?
Facebook.
Facey Space.
We have a group on Facebook, the Jiminy Crickets Podcast Facebook page, so you can go online there, join the group, and we can chat about everything that you watched on this video. We can chat about the podcast, Disney music, Disneyland, chicken of the sea, tuna sandwiches, whatever you guys feel like. So it's a great place to gather and chat Disney stuff. So me, Chris, and Ruthie have a lot of fun on there.
Brian, I just got that song out of my head, and now it's back again. Ask any mermaid you happen to see, what's the best tuna? Chicken of the sea. So we have several podcasts. We'll mention these right now. We have a audio podcast. We release it approximately once a month. And in June, we had an episode devoted to the original Fantasyland Dark Rides. We have just released a brand new show about a week ago now when you're listening to this, it'll be about 2 weeks, celebrating the 70th anniversary of Alice in Wonderland. And look, I also fixed this poster, Brian.
You were like really excited for the 25th anniversary.
I had a 5 instead of a 0 on the. I was full of mistakes the last time. So coming this month, we're gonna be doing a new show to celebrate the 20th anniversary. But we're also gonna of Disney Sea. We're also gonna have part 2 of our Alice in Wonderland show. So probably have 2 podcasts this month, so you have that to look forward to. And to get
I better start my research, huh?
Yeah. Well, you're the only one of us who's been to Tokyo Disney Sea, so we need you on this next one.
Yeah, I'm gonna rip it to shreds too because it's the worst Disney park.
It's a terrible place. It's a slum.
Yeah.
Anyway, to listen to all of our past shows and upcoming shows, there's nearly 145 episodes. You can go back and listen to them all in neurological order or chronological order.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I went back and started with number 1.
jcricketspodcast.blogspot.com. We're also on Apple Podcast, and we're not on, what was it, Stitcher?
Spotify? Well, we're
trying to
get
I think
on there.
we are on Stitcher, as a matter of
fact.
fact.
Yes, you're on a lot of stuff. Google,
but
Stitcher,
we're not on
all kinds of
Spotify. We are looking into it. No guarantees. There's some issues, but we're looking into it. So, Brian, we have other shows other than Dateline Jiminy Crickets. What are those all about?
Well, we have the Dateline Jiminy Crickets, which is our audio-video show, and the regular Jiminy Crickets podcast, which is a historical podcast, and Down the Rabbit Hole for our Patreon subscribers at the $5 level and higher. And there, Chris, Ruthie, and I, we get into all kinds of messy stuff. We have a general topic, but then we just kind of go down the rabbit hole and get crazy. It's fun.
It's a round table, unedited chat.
Yeah. Unedited, unscripted, off the cuff. Last month we talked about my trip to Disneyland, and this month we're going to talk about my trip to California Adventure.
Actually, no, Brian. You have it kind of mixed up because we are going to release your California Adventure at the end of August.
Oh, that's right.
So that's actually the August that all the rewards come out at the end of the month. So the July episode was actually part 1 of your trip report, and we're going to be releasing part 2 for August at the end of August. And then for September, to be announced. We're not sure. We have come up with some initial ideas, but nothing has been confirmed yet for the topic. That's to be announced, but we will have an episode, that's for sure. So, one special thing I'm going to do this month for the celebration of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary is for the Disney Song of the Day. All month long, I will have a song that is Walt Disney World related. Either a song from an attraction, a song about Disney World, just all sorts of Disney World-centered songs, which is sort of something different because normally my site is very Disneyland-focused. So I'm sort of breaking out of my comfort zone and doing some Disney World in honor of this very special anniversary. So be sure to check out the Song of the Day. Also on Facebook and on Instagram, we'll be sharing some vintage Walt Disney World images all through September. So be sure to check those out as well. And also, if you have not heard yet, we do have a mobile-friendly version of my magical audio tour. And to get to that, you go to a browser. It's not an app. It's on a regular browser, and just go to disneychris.com/311, or you can link to it from my homepage of my website, and that will give you an easier to navigate version of the site if you are not at your desktop computer. So those are our shameless plugs, and now we're ready to get to the heart of the matter, and we're going to give you a complete update of the Knott's Berry Farm silent tour. No, the Disneyland Magical Audio Tour. And
head on down to the Big Easy Frontierland.
Yes.
Oh, wait. The
Paris of the
Frontier.
American Frontier, where we join the Mardi Gras celebration in the French Quarter of 19th century New Orleans. Then experience some of Disneyland's most thrilling adventures. I can't read. I'm too. Encountering
a rollicking crew of swashbuckling buccaneers
and
a whole bunch of
999 otherworldly ghosts, ghouls, and goblins. I'm sort of leaning back, and the screen is kind of small.
I work bifocals, so I'm good.
So, of course, we're talking about New Orleans Square. And I have added...
I want to be there.
I have added 92 new tracks to this chapter in just the past couple of weeks. And the chapter is now completely updated. There's nothing missing. Nothing marked coming soon anymore. So, don't be confused. There's not 92 new things, but there's a lot of new things, plus a lot of the things that were already on the chapter have been redone. So in total, 92 new things, including many that are redos of old things. So let's go to the website, Brian, shall we? Here we are.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we are on the page.
Oh, wrong land.
And I am going to skip over anything that has remained unchanged since I have recently made all these additions. And just anything marked new will stop, and I'll explain what it is until we get to the end. As the Mad Hatter says, start at the beginning, and when you get to the end, stop. That's usually a good idea. So, the first thing I added was the actual audio from the opening day dedication of New Orleans Square on July 24th, 1966, where the mayor of the real New Orleans was a special invited speaking guest. Ben Shiro, I think was his name.
Victor.
And Victor Shiro. And they both spoke, and they complimented the heck out of each other, and then Walt took them on a tour of the real New Orleans to show them how clean the streets were. He even says that. He was proud of his New Orleans being much cleaner than the real New Orleans.
The real one.
So I added some fun applause and crowd laughter and some background music to sort of enhance this, and it's really it's the authentic audio that Walt goes into a whole story of how the Louisiana Purchase happened. It's interesting.
It's a really fun, kind of casual interview for a public event. I like it.
Most of Walt's public speeches were just very... He didn't usually have anything prepared. He just sort of spoke from...
Yeah, he was an off-the-cuff kind of guy.
Yeah. So the next thing is a redo, and this is just several versions of sort of the unofficial theme song, I feel, of New Orleans Square, which is Swanee River. Just different versions of the song played in various Dixieland styles, sort of represent the land. Number 9 is what you're listening to right now, but I'm not gonna... This is just the waterfront area music. Usually you hear it before Phantasmic. But it's been there, so I'm not gonna go into it. It's been available for some time. So one thing I went through and redid was my whole Disney Gallery section. And I added all different variations of the Disney Gallery, because they played different music throughout its couple decades that it existed. So first I have the original music from when it first opened until '92. And then I have the music that replaced it, and it was actually made for Disneyland Paris. Disneyland got a lot of new area music shortly after Disneyland Paris opened, because they created all brand new area music for Disneyland Paris, and then they started replacing Disneyland's area music with that music as well. So this was about a year after Disneyland Paris's Disney Gallery opened and had a brand new loop just made specially for it. They started playing that same loop in California as well. And then I have special exhibit rooms, which have various special exhibits throughout the years. And then the collector's room, which is sort of the same thing. And then these 2 tracks are specific exhibits that were in the Disney Gallery sort of in its later New Orleans years. It still exists, but now it's on Main Street. It's no longer... And then I have Club 33 represented, and I have several tracks. I have one track here that's sort of representing the fact that they have a lot of actual props used as furniture pieces from both Mary Poppins and The Happiest Millionaire are now located in the the Club 33. So I use that as an intro. And then I have the area music. And then I have some harpsichord music, because there's actually a working harpsichord that Elton John himself has played in Club 33. For those who don't know, a harpsichord is sort of the same as a piano, but instead of the strings being beaten down on, the strings are actually plucked like a violin.
Yep.
So it has a very different sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very Baroque sounding. And then I have the trophy room, which was a special room that no longer exists inside Club 33. And that was, I think it's the kitchen now. It's part of the kitchen now. When they expanded it, they
I didn't know that.
They made that into part of the kitchen. Yeah, they got rid of that. So, but I just have some various Disney songs played sort of in a classical style. It sort of reminded me of like fox hunting type music. Now I also have this Disney Dream Suite, which I listened to several live recordings and did my very best to replicate with sound effects and music. I have a whole section where you're in the Frontierland suite, and there's actually a train that goes around the whole room. And I have all the sound effects and music for the train. This one was really challenging. It's pretty detailed. And then,
so when you and I stay there next year, you'll be able
right.
to get a lot more authentic audio, right? Isn't that the plan?
Well, plans were made to be broken. Anyway, so Club 33, I have the new Jazz Lounge. I have 2 tracks. I have one that's just jazz music, sort of more modern jazz, playing Disney songs. And then I have some jazz piano representing... They have a piano in the new Jazz Lounge that often a live performer will play the music. When they're not performing live, then they switch on the pre-recorded music. So I have both represented. Cafe Orleans I'm representing using outdoor cafe sounds. This songs from this loop that you're hearing now, because you can hear this loop from Cafe Orleans. And also the sounds of clanging dishes, steamboat whistles, just everything you would hear if you were eating outside at Cafe Orleans. One-of-a-kind antiques. I have a song about gift shops that's real cute. Crystal d'Orleans. You can hear the glass blowers at work. I have that sound effect. And
that's cool. Or hot. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Mademoiselle Antoinette's Parfumier is three versions of a French song called La Vie en Rose, which is sort of, whenever I think of perfume, I think of that song, so I thought that would be appropriate. And then I have a Dixieland band with the sounds of the bayou underscoring it, representing the music you would hear at the Blue Bayou. And then this was a redo. I had this already on the site, but I made it better. And it's the actual sound effects from the Blue Bayou. So like the crickets and the frogs and, you know, all the different things you hear as you're going through there. And then I
put that
have
on a loop, and I fall asleep to that sometimes.
Then I have
Thanks.
the Man of the Bayou, Beacon Joe, which is the little rocking chair guy playing the banjo. So I have his whole musical set there. And also the newer things that were added when they redid Pirates in 2006. So sort of an extended copy of it. Now this track is a lot of fun. And this is just a bunch of Disney songs that somehow represent either pirates or just sort of seafaring legends and things of that nature, starting from 1950 up to the present. So all different movies like Treasure Island, Blackbeard's Ghost, etc., etc.
Do you have a lot of Thurl Ravenscroft singing sea shanties on that too?
I do have him singing Gold Doubloons and Pieces of Eight.
Oh, all right.
So for the Disneyland 10th anniversary, this is the section from that TV episode where he shows Julie Ream all of the sketches and models for the then under construction Pirates of the Caribbean. And then Pirates of the Caribbean press conference is interesting. This is an actual recording that was made when they invited the press to the WED studio to tour the sets and models and everything for Pirates, which was also at that time under construction. Walt sort of giving a guided tour of everything. It's a real special thing. Then I have Pirates of the Caribbean Grand Opening Ceremony, which is actually from the 1968 episode From Pirates of the Caribbean to the World of Tomorrow. Then I have the ticket booth announcement, and what that was is when you were standing in line at the entrance to Disneyland, when Pirates first opened, they had on a repeating loop a little advertisement playing that you could hear while you were standing in line to pay for your ticket, that promoting Pirates of the Caribbean, because it was a brand new thing. People didn't know about it yet. And then I have a little introduction, which is actually a radio commercial for Pirates from 1967. Now, this is the actual ride itself, the full soundtrack of the ride as it was when it first opened, the original version, the 1967 variation of Pirates of the Caribbean. With one exception, I added, well, two actually, added in our Beacon Joe, who wasn't added to the ride until 73, and also the drunk man with the cats, which was actually a scene created for Disney World, which they then replicated and put it in Disneyland. I included that as well. I didn't know that until recently.
Old Bill
either.
Originated with the Florida version.
Yeah, and
Okay.
then they made a clone and added that scene. So it was so well received, they brought it back to California as well.
Here, Killy.
So Pirates of the Caribbean Foyer, they had made some changes when they did the redo in 2006. The Parrot had a new script, so I included that. And then I have the full ride through of the whole Pirates of the Caribbean as it was redone in 2006, which is basically the present day version of the attraction. So this is just the scenes that are unique to the Florida version of Walt Disney, of Pirates of the Caribbean. So this just has a lot of stuff from the queue, which are different, and it has the ending scene, which is totally different than how it ends in California. So I added that. And then I have some recording sessions of various pirates and actors, voice actors that did voices for the ride. And then I have just sort of isolated dialogue of all the various pirates throughout the attraction. So you can hear how they sound without the music or sound effects, just one at a time without being talked over. And then I have all the sound effects by themselves from the attraction. This is a special scene that was cut from the final version. They actually, you know how they said, "No fear have ye of evil curses," as you're going through. They actually were going to have a talking dialogue through the entire thing with them describing all the different scenes as you go through, including that ending part, which they kept. So this is the entire thing in full. And then this is the new...
I like that. That sounds awesome.
This is the new scene with Pirate Red, when they redid the Redhead. This isn't
awesome.
This isn't the authentic thing. This is actually bits and pieces of it. It's not in full, and it's slightly altered. But it's from the video game version, which it was included on, because they have not released any of the attraction audio of this yet. So it's I pieced together what I could from that video game, which I think came out a couple years ago. Heavy Lifting Pirates. Do you know what that is? So from 97 until they added Johnny Depp in 2006, there was a special scene added at the end of Pirates of the Caribbean. Basically where they put Johnny Depp in now. And what it was is they closed the World of Motion in Epcot, and they brought a few of the animatronics used in that to Pirates of the Caribbean and redressed them as pirates. And one of them showed two pirates trying to lift treasure out of the lift hill at the end of the attraction. And they were pulling a rope and going, trying to pull this big bag of treasure out. And you'll like this little bit of trivia, Brian. One of the items...
I don't even remember this at all.
I remember it. One of the items that was kind of sticking out of the bag, and you could kind of see the top of it, was a painting with a very beautiful frame around it. And you know what the painting was? Blackbeard's ghost. It was the painting actually used in the film. So, a bit of fun there.
Is it of Blackbeard, or is it the Aldita Teach?
No, it was Blackbeard, the one you see in
Blackbeard.
the one you see in the movie.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So then Jack Sparrow is the dialogue you hear him say at the end of the ride in that big treasure room that he sits in. And when they put that in, they took out the lifting scene. Then I have various versions of the attraction around the world, and I basically just included scenes that are unique to the other versions. Anything that's in Disneyland, I didn't I didn't feel like having it play over, because a lot of them just use the Disneyland recordings, even though they're in English, but some of it's unique to, you know, the various places they are. So I have some of the Tokyo Disneyland. As you can see, it's only 2.5 minutes because the vast majority is the English version. But they do have some Japanese parts, and I included that. Same with Disneyland Paris. And this is pretty much the entire attraction in the new Shanghai version, which is really a different ride, but it's based on Pirates of the Caribbean. But this is pretty much a ride through of the full thing. Now, this is a musical score. This is just the music from the entire 67 version of the attraction. And then this is the musical score from the 2006 version. And then I have...
going that musical score of the attraction, track 59, so now you have the music, and then you have the pirate dialogue and all the sound effects all separated out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, that's what makes this audio tour so unique.
You can listen to it all together in this track, or then you can listen to it separately in the tracks that come after. Like I have just the Jolly Roger, Avast there.
Yeah.
And all that. So then
you leave no doubloon unturned.
Okay. Then this is music from the films. Highlights. Really, that's all from the first film, the 2003 original film. And then Pirates League was a special event where they would paint your face or do various pirate fun things. And then I have a sing-along. And what this is just all different versions of the theme, Yo-Ho, Yo-Ho, just all sort of combined for fun. And then I've mentioned this other places, but this is something really cool. This is sort of like my Esmeralda track from the Main Street page. But what this is Fortune Red, who you can see here in his home. Here's a little closer view. And you put a coin in, and he spits out a fortune. Well, I had a very talented gentleman do the voice of a pirate for me, and I recorded it. And it's like straight out of Central Casting. Sounds absolutely amazing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And he's doing the voice of Fortune Red. Do you get the pun there? Fortune Red. Fortune's red, R-E-A-D. He's reading your fortune. Fortune Red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's clever. So, Bootstrappers Pirate Band. I had this before, but I just extended it. Kind of made it twice as long. And
they're back now, playing in Disneyland. So.
I know, I saw. And this is the area music at the gift shop near the exit to Pirates. This is exactly what was there before now, but I went through and I made some cleanup. So this is the 2.0 cleaned up edition. Court of Angels is just a nice little mellow Dixieland tune with the sound of trickling water from the fountain, and you can hear birds, and it just sort of gives you the ambient feeling of the Court of Angels. Tootie and Old Lady, I had this on the site before, but I had background music. Now I just have the sound effects without any music over it. So the beginning to end, the full thing, straight, no music. Royal Street Bachelors, I did find some extra recordings. For years, I only had one authentic recording of the original Royal Street Bachelors. But now I have almost 15 minutes of music. So this is really fun. By the way, Ernie McLean was one of the original Royal Bachelors before he started performing solo in his later years. Mint Julep Bar. I found a song, a Dixieland song called Mint Julep, and then I added to sort of, because people might not recognize the song. It's no lyrics. I added the sound of a slurping straw at the beginning to make it obvious that that's what it's supposed to represent. New Orleans Station, I had this on the site before. It's just the sound of the telegraph office and the train pulling into the station. This is a new 2.0 improved version. Now these are all the different performers in New Orleans Square. A lot of these I already had up. A lot of them I added, but I don't really need to go through them because it's pretty self-explanatory. These are just various Dixieland groups that, including the new Royal Street Bachelors, which are currently playing in the park, and they're sort of the great-grandson version of the original Royal Street Bachelors.
Yeah, and if you don't know where to find them, just go down to Royal Street.
Bayou Bash is another
Crickets.
New Orleans, another New Orleans group, but they performed alongside the Tiana Showboat Jubilee as part of that show, so I included that here. And then I thought it would be fun to include the songs from The Princess and the Frog, because that sort of takes place in New Orleans, and eventually this is probably gonna...
I love that music. It's one of my favorites.
Eventually this is probably gonna end up on another chapter, but we'll talk about that another day.
Oh.
I don't want to think about that right now. So the French Market Bandstand is the bandstand that a lot of Dixieland groups play at. Again, I don't need to go through these. A lot of them were already on the chapter. I added some new ones, like the Delta Ramblers. And the Side Street Strutters was on there already, but this is an improved, longer, better version. And Lisa Haley and the Zydeco is not a Dixieland group. They're a Zydeco, like a, what do you call, Bayou music group. What's the name of that style? There's another name for it.
Oh.
It's like that Bayou, it's like going down the bayou, that kind of music. It's called Zydeco, but there's another word for it. It's like French influenced. I can't think of the word.
Creole.
Anyway, Creole. Yeah. The Disneyland Band. These are some Dixieland tunes played by the Disneyland Band. Caged Old Hag. She was a figure that was for a time located at the Le Baton Rouge gift shop. And this is her dialogue. And now we're getting into the Haunted Mansion section. The first thing that's new is the 10th anniversary, again with Walt and Julie Ream. And here's Raleigh Crump. And this is when he was sort of previewing with her the Haunted Mansion. And then I completely redid my Haunted Mansion ride-through. This is a much improved 2.0 version of the full ride-through experience beginning to end of the Haunted Mansion. And just like Pirates, I broke it up into separate things after that. So I have the musical score. I have the various safety spiels. The Pet Cemetery, which basically is a sound effects track. It's all the animal sounds heard throughout the attraction. The Story and Song I had on the site before. It's a record album, and I cleaned it up and made it better. It's a Thurl Ravenscroft, Peter Renaday, and someone you may have heard of, Ronnie Howard, are all on this album. The Ghost Host is the entire spiel by Paul Frees, beginning to end. Just his dialogue. No sound effects, no music. And then this is Paul Frees' recording session, is exactly what it is. It's him recording all of this. So this is really interesting because it shows all of his takes that were not used. So it's weird to hear him saying the same thing
Yeah.
in different ways.
Fascinating track there. That's
So
awesome.
unused recordings are various recordings that were done that did not end up in the attraction. For example, at one time, Madame Leota was going to be your tour guide. So it has some of Eleanor Audley doing the ghost host, which is bizarre. And then I have all the sound effects. And then I have all the ghosts sounds, the occupants. And then I have...
Split everything out like you did with the pirates. Okay, cool.
Right. Then I have the pipe organ, which are the music that was used in all the various versions that were recorded but did not end up getting used for the attraction. Then I have as a separate track the Seance Room, which includes some extra portions that were not used in the final version of the attraction. I have Constance, the Black Widow Bride, and she is not heard in my version of the Haunted Mansion because I have the original 1969 version of the attraction here. So also included after the fact down in separate tracks are the changes and the dialogue and different music that was added, you know, in later years. So that would include Constance, of course the Hatbox Ghost, and then I have a whole fun section of the Ghost in the Graveyard, which are all the different vocal performances by the graveyard singers without the music, without the instrumentation. Just them singing Acapulco style. And, and it's really bizarre to listen to that. And I even have, you know, they have the little band at the beginning. One of them's playing like a lute, and one of them's playing the bagpipes, etc. I have all of those instruments separate, so you can hear what they sounded like by themselves without the other instruments. It's really interesting. Little Leota, Walt Disney World additional scenes, which are basically the library and that music room towards the beginning. Then I have versions of the attraction from other parks around the world, including Tokyo, Phantom Manor from Disneyland Paris, and then I have just the musical score from Phantom Manor, and I've had on the site for a while because Brian requested it, so I did it earlier. Mystic Manor, that's been available for a while. Now this is a fun thing. This was a one of those story readers from the 70s, and they actually made a read-along cassette a few years later of the story. So it's a completely different story than the Haunted Mansion, but I always feel that it was sort of inspired by the Haunted Mansion, so I decided to include it. It's basically Mickey, Donald, and Pluto visiting a haunted house. Grim Grinning Ghost Sing Along are just all different versions of the song. Then I have the music from the Academy Award-winning, all-time classic, great film, The Haunted Mansion, starring Eddie Murphy. And then I have, this is really strange stuff here, The Ghost Post. Do you know what this is?
I do not know.
This was an interactive game that was sent out to only 999 people. You had to subscribe via the Ghost Relations Department, and each of these lucky people would receive 3 mysterious packages over the course of 3 months, including audio content to help you through everything. So this was some of that audio content, and it's a whole story of the ghosts reaching out to human beings because the Haunted Mansion has mysteriously been fogged in, and they can't leave the mansion to follow you home anymore. So they're looking for help to solve the mystery. So this is
Wow.
audio from that.
I don't know how I missed that. Obviously, it wasn't one of those
weren't one of them
999.
exactly. And then DJ Elliott, who I do have represented throughout the site. This is some of his mixology, and he did a little haunted mansion thing that's been used for various after-hours celebrations. So that's how we close out the chapter. And that's it, Brian. Can you believe we made it through all that in less than an hour?
I can't believe it.
I knew we would. I knew after going through Tomorrowland so quickly that would be okay. It wouldn't go too long. So we made it.
Yeah. It was a very good review. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and look forward to listening to a lot of these new tracks, especially some of those Haunted Mansion pieces where you broke out the audio.
Yeah.
The graveyard, the ghosts in the graveyard. I'm gonna probably put that on right after we get done here.
I actually had a lot of fun working on that stuff. Sometimes I sort of dread doing, like, I like certain things more than others, like anybody else. So some things I enjoy editing more than others. And I have to be honest with you, the Chapter 18 current day Tomorrowland was not my favorite stuff. Especially stuff like Marvel stuff and things of that nature. It wasn't my favorite, but I mean, this chapter was sort of a joy to edit. Especially the Haunted Mansion and pirate stuff. I really enjoyed it. But just to let you all know what's coming next, I am currently working on Chapter 11, which is another chapter that was... I'm sort of going to the chapters that have been requested the most. And New Orleans Square has been one of those that has been requested because people really wanted the new versions of pirates and stuff like that. But another one I get a lot of requests for is the original Fantasyland because people are dying to hear the original dark rides from the 50s, 60s, 70s and what those sounded like. So that's the chapter I'm working on now. It's the 1955 to 1982 version of Fantasyland. And
yeah, Chris has sent me a few clips of that stuff, and it's really...
Yeah,
the work that you've done so far cleaning up that old audio is
amazing. I have the individual sound effects and dialogue. And then I also have live recordings made back in the 70s before they redid them. And I'm using that as a guide and then piecing together the sound effects that I have. So these are pretty authentic. They're not actual ride-throughs, but I'm using the actual audio, so I guess in a sense it is a real ride-through. But I'm using a live recording as a reference to accurately do everything in the right order. I'm taking some artistic license so that it's more enjoyable to listen to. But for the most part, I'm trying to capture the original. So far, I've already done 3 out of the 4. I've done Alice, I've done Snow White, and Peter Pan. All I have left to do is Mr. Toad. But I'm going to be adding a bunch of new tracks in addition to those Dark Ride tracks, and that's what I'm working on right now. So right now I'm doing the initial setting up of everything. I have 46 out of 72 tracks ready to go. And as soon as I get through what I have left, which is less than 30, I will be adding those to the site next. So probably early October, you're going to start seeing a bunch of Fantasyland stuff coming. So that's what's coming next. Are you looking forward to it? Yes, no, maybe. You could care less. Anyway, thank you.
I care, and I'm looking forward to it.
So I'd like to thank everybody. Have a wonderful September. And when I speak to you next, at least on this platform, I will be 1 year older because my birthday is this month.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's what we're celebrating in September, in addition to Disney World's 50th anniversary music. So, Chris's birthday.
It's my
happy birthday.
It's my 48th anniversary. So, anyway, of being alive. So, anyway, thank you everybody for your continued support, and we will catch you on the flippity flow. Goodbye, Brian.
All right, bye everybody.